Barbara Rourke, host of the called WCFA Spotlight. And tonight we are putting our spotlight on the 2022 Wildwood National Marble Champion Girls Division, Jessica Johnson. And here she is. Say hi, Jessica.
Hi.
And we also have with her her coach and the director of the program, and that would be Betty Harshaw.
Hello. Thanks for having us, Barbara.
And in a minute, we're going to show Jerry Siebert, and he's also a coach. We'll talk to him in a second. Jessica, tell me about your experience last year. The last year's girls champion of 2022. They say you're the first girls champion from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the first New Jersey national champion in the history of the tournament for 99 years. It's not that she's the first girl. She's the first New Jersey. Jessica Johnson is the first New Jersey national champion in the 99-year history of the national tournament in Wildwood, New Jersey. It's never happened before. She made it happen.
And this is Jerry. Tell us about yourself, Jerry. You're coach in the 90s for the Marbles kids?
I had a program at Special Services for 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason we started that is because I saw the article in the paper about the Mipsters coming to Wildwood.
And Mipsters is another name for
marbles players.
The marbles players, okay.
So I and my wife said, well, let's go over to the tournament and find out what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an interview with the director of the National Marbles Tournament, and I was asking, how do you get in this? What do you have to do? And I asked him how many New Jersey marbles players were in the tournament, and he said there hasn't been a New Jersey marbles player in the tournament for 25 years. Well, I saw that as a challenge. It's right here in our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
So for 9 years, we went after it, and we got some pretty good players out of the deal. And then the program ended for some other reasons.
Right.
And then the Wildwood School District called me, the superintendent, to ask me if I wanted to help with the Wildwood Marbles program,
right,
which I was excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been with Mrs. Harshaw and Jessica and other marbles players for 11 years now. And it's so exciting that Jessica did it. And the kids, they understood that there had never been a New Jersey national champion.
So they were trying for it too.
Well, that's us. Yeah. We're the only marbles players in the state of New Jersey. That's it. It's us. And Jessica is, once again, the first New Jersey national marbles champion.
So tell us about the way the tournament works. It looks like there are local groups. They do. They get winners in their local groups, like the various county and town.
Well,
groups.
For us, we have two teams, but we come from the same program. And the reason we have two teams is because that allowed us to get more players into the tournament.
Right.
We came in as Wildwood After School program,
right,
and we have a team from there. No one can compete with us in our program except our kids.
Right.
But we had other good players. So the tournament directors allowed us to reactivate the tournament that I used to have called Cape May County,
mm-hmm,
because the kids that I worked with came from all over the county. So once again, it's the Wildwood After School program team
right,
in Cape May County, but it's from the same program.
Okay, and then there are state champions across the country, and
right,
then this tournament is yearly, and you decide on a national champion.
Right.
It's like the World Series of
This
marbles.
is it.
Yeah.
It's the longest running kids tournament in the country, and it's been in Wildwood for 99 years.
And it's going to be the 100th year next year, 100th
right,
anniversary.
It's going to be a big celebration.
Yeah, next July.
Yep. And
wow,
Jessica will be like the kind of the guest of honor because she's the reigning champion from New Jersey.
And here's Jessica again. Yeah. I was doing some research, and the game you play is called Ringer.
Yeah.
And there are different kinds of marbles games.
Yeah.
Is that the idea? But the one you play, the one for the champion, is Ringer.
Yes.
And how do you play Ringer?
So Ringer,
there is like marble set up in an X shape. There's 13.
13 in an X shape.
Yes.
And I saw a video, and there was like it reminds you of the way they set up pool balls, on a table, getting ready for
similar concept.
A similar concept. So there's like this little X-shaped thing, and you put the marbles in, and it stays steady. Then you take that away.
Correct.
And then so for ringer, the winner, it would be the first person to shoot out 7 of the 13 marbles.
So shooting out does have to go outside the ring.
Outside the ring.
Yeah. And are you expert at any other marbles games?
No.
Okay. Betty, what are the other marbles games?
Marbles has some significance in different cultures. And you can talk to somebody from a Hispanic country, and they'll tell you of a different kind of game. I know when I was growing up, we played a game called Potsies. We dug a hole in the ground, and it was like kind of gambling. We each threw a marble in. Whoever, if you have 5 players, everybody throws a marble in. Yeah. And we drew a line on the ground, and we kind of rolled it into the pot, and whoever got their marble into the pot won all the marbles in it. So that was just one of the games. So ringer is the game that the National Marbles Tournament has always used. So when the tournament occurs, the first 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, are all preliminary rounds. And so they set up the 13 marbles, but the kids get, is it five innings, just like in baseball? Okay, they get 5 times at bat. Okay. And so in the preliminary rounds, you get as many as you can out. And if you get 3 and your opponent gets 1, then you're the winner of that game. That's how the preliminaries are played. Mm-hmm. When we get into the semifinals, we started playing ringer, where you had to shoot 7 out in order to win that game. And the finals were definitely all ringer. They had the best out of 15 games of ringer. And she won 8 out of the 15, and it got to the 13th game, I believe, right? Was it, or the 11th game? 11th game? She was ahead. She was ahead. 13. Yeah, she was ahead 7-1, and her opponent was our other Cape May County girl. It was her teammate. And she was ahead 7 games to 1 game. And then Evelyn came and just came through, and all of a sudden we were up to the 13th game before she got the next game. And it was very, very exciting, very nerve-wracking. But this one here, she's like a cool, calm, and collective out there in the marbles ring. She knows what she had to do. And so as the coach, well, first of all, Jerry is standing in the back biting his fingernails. Okay, he stays away from her. So I'm going out and I'm trying to talk to both girls, and they stayed friends for the whole thing. They're still friends now. They didn't get mad at each other for winning or losing. That was an exciting moment for us in our history here in the Wildwoods, because, like Jerry said, there has not been a champion from our state of New Jersey at all. And this year, we had Jessica be the queen. The runner-up was also a Cape May County team member, and then on the boys division, the runner-up was one of our boys also. So we had 3 of the 4 in the finalists in the tournament this past June.
All right, you meet people from all over the country. I was looking at that video, and it's kids from Tennessee and Virginia and Buffalo, New York. So how did you like meeting all those people from all over the country? What was that like?
It was honestly nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You're playing against people that you've never seen play before. So you have no clue how they shoot, how good they are.
And so you have to gauge on the fly. You have to judge right away, right?
Yeah.
Just like a baseball pitcher or something, right? For teams you don't know.
Yeah. And then some of the teams like, was it Pittsburgh and some of the Maryland teams, they're like consistently producing champions that make it into the semifinals. So like, was it Cumberland County, Maryland was one, Frederick, Maryland, they have well-established programs there that are longer running history than ours. So when we first started doing this 10, 11 years ago, we were just basically going in and, winging it for our kids. But then as the years progressed, as one of the tournament directors said to us, well, back in the day, people used to say, oh yeah, we're getting ready to play Wildwood because we were beatable. Okay, we were easy to beat. And then the last couple of years is like, oh, we're getting ready to play Wildwood. and this year, Jessica's final record, I believe you had lost only like 8 games.
Yeah.
Out of 40-something games. And on top of all that, she had 5 sticks. All right, explain what a stick is.
So during the preliminaries, within the 5 innings, on the first inning, if you hit out all 7 marbles, it's a stick.
That's called a stick.
in one turn. So
in one turn.
in
Okay.
one
Yeah.
turn. Yeah, the first turn in those preliminaries, and she did it 5 times, which was a record for us for sure. I'm not sure about some of the other teams, but that's hard to accomplish.
Yeah.
So she did that. I mean, it's an amazing thing. You take one shot, and the next thing you know, you stay in the ring and you shoot 7 marbles out, and in one turn. So she in fact got a trophy, I think, or a plaque for that.
Yeah.
She was the girls stick champion this year.
Fun. Like looking to the future, like you're kind of aged out now, right? So can you take these skills like with you in some way, or just a matter of the way you have to focus on things? You can like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Really, you can do anything if you could learn how to do that.
Yeah, marbles. People look at us and they say, marbles? like I'm coaching marbles, and Jerry's coaching marbles, but it's an ancient activity. It goes back historically to a long time, but kids these days are so electronically inclined with everything.
Yeah.
Marbles, you don't have to plug in. You don't have to charge up. And it's good old math, believe it or not. A lot of angles and learning the right kind of shot to take with the angles. And then and it's very precise on how to shoot. And so there are certain things that Jerry and I try to teach the kids so that when they're out there competing, we're not allowed to coach them. We're not allowed to say anything to them except
on the day.
Good job or whatever. We can't say, take this shot or do this. They have to know mentally what it is that they have to do. So that's how, when we go into training with them right before the tournament, we try to prepare them to be out there on their own. And they like I said, this year we had an amazing year with them, with her becoming the queen. We had four Wildwood kids and 4 Cape May County kids. So we had 8 kids together that we were coaching. And out of the 8, 6 of them made it into the top 8, 3 boys and 3 girls.
Of national?
Yes. They made it into the semifinals. And out of those 6, 3 of them made it into the finals. And we're, Jerry is still like on cloud 18 or whatever I can go for that.
This young lady right here, I mean, she worked hard for this and practiced hard and made it happen.
Well, because of COVID, the 2020 and 2021 tournaments didn't take place.
Okay.
So this year, Jerry and I we had a little bit of a predicament because when we hold the Cape May County tournament, which is held after the Wildwood tournament, it's open to any child in this county that wants to play. And we advertise it. And a lot of times a bulk of the folks that come in are from the Wildwoods. Early in, I think it was April, the National Marbles Tournament sent us a list and said these kids were eligible because 14 is the maximum age. So when you turn, 15, you've aged out. We had our 15-year-olds that would have been in the tournament the last 2 years. They were allowing them all to come in. So all the teams, there were a lot of 15-year-olds there, and all the teams said, hey, and we had a situation because the Wildwood Boardwalk was under construction, and that section of the boardwalk was fenced in all the way around, which included the marbles rings. So we had no access to them. So we were actually basically homeless this year. We had our tournament on for the Wildwoods team on the tennis courts and in the courtyard of the school because we had no other rings that we could go to. When we found out that we could put our 15-year-olds in, she was the first person. We said, are you game? If you are, let me know. And then we had 3 other 15-year-olds that were also previous marble champions for Wildwood and Cape May County that said yes. So that's why we fielded a team that did really, really well. So all I can say is that she became champion in 2022, but that possibility was always there in 2020 and 2021. Yeah. We're just glad that she had the opportunity, that all of them had the opportunity to be a part of the tournament this year. And we're thankful that the National Marbles Tournament had enough, I guess, foresight, is that the good word to put, to allow us to put our players, because a lot of the teams all had these older players. And in fact, I think the boys champion was also 15, right? Yeah. Yeah. So the 15-year-olds dominated in the finals. And who's to say that wasn't going to be the way it was last year? So I think that she eventually would have been queen no matter what.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I have the confidence that she would have done it either last year or the year before because she was heading in that direction. We're just glad that she has she had the opportunity, that they all had the opportunity to be part of it.
So 1,200 games played over a 4-day period. The kids are selected from local tournaments held in cities and counties around the U.S., and they provide the national honors, also college scholarships, and also numerous prizes and awards.
We're
Pretty
proud.
nice.
We're proud to say she's got a $2,000 scholarship waiting for her when she graduates from high school.
That's great.
Yes, and then over the years, we've had several of our marbles players win the sportsmanship awards, and they got $500 for a sportsmanship award.
So that what's the sportsmanship award for?
It's basically for a player that's not necessarily, and it's almost always not the king and queen.
No.
It's usually another player
Mhm.
that the referees agree that this is the player that they saw display the most like sportsmanship and courtesy
Mhm.
to other players. We're very proud to say that this past year we had 3 of our marbles players graduate from high school. One of them won the sportsmanship award twice. And so she had $1,000 to help her out with the beginning of college, and the other 2 had $500. So, and we still have now next year, Jessica will get hers, and we have George, who also won a $500 sportsmanship award. So
Wonderful.
yeah. So we're trying to maintain that kind of I guess the word's character.
Mhm.
We try to impose that on our kids, to be respectful of each other as well as the opposing players. And see, Wildwood being a small community, our players, it's our home court, but they're like the shyest of all the kids. When the other kids come out, it's like, oh wow, that kid's from Colorado, and we had, was it one year, wasn't there a young lady that hung out with us at the pier from Washington State?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she came and she didn't have anybody else there with her, so she came and joined us because the kids got passes to go to the piers.
Uh-huh.
So Jess was among that group. That was in 2019.
Yeah.
She came and she hung out with us because she was from Washington State and was going back then, the next day. So they made some contacts, and whether they stay a hold with them, it's a whole it's a different culture out there when you're playing marbles.
By the way, if you want to see a video called All the Marbles, it's about the Pittsburgh kids, but you get like the gist of what the marbles tournament is all about.
Well, see, these families coming in, this is their vacation. Like our kids, one year they're like, can we stay in the hotel? Because some of them never stayed in a hotel. This was years ago, right? And so these kids that are coming in, I mean, their families are spending money to stay in Wildwood for a week, almost a week. So they have the expenses incurred for travel, for food, and then for the room and board. It's our backyard. So basically it's like, we tell the kids, get there on time, because there's no excuse to not be on time. And our kids have gotten very good with putting up our 2 tents. We have the 2 canopies and stuff.
A little shade.
Yes, because it gets,
and drinks,
because it gets hot out there.
Yeah.
So I back up and they unload my truck, and by the time I go and park and come back, they've got the 2 tents up, they've got the coolers there, and and we're set to be there from like, it's like they start playing at 8 a.m. And sometimes you're playing until 12 to 1 o'clock, all depending on how the progress was. It's a very intense few days, and especially when we get to Wednesday. Usually the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday mornings are the preliminaries, and the Wednesday evening event is when they usually start the semifinals. But I think this year weather affected us.
Yeah.
So we had to have the semifinals on Thursday. So you're talking a lot of shooting, a lot of being down on the knees, a lot, your knuckles and everything.
Injuries. What you get injuries on with marbles? Yeah, usually shaking her head.
What kind of injuries did you have?
Like right here.
See, she never complained. This is the first we've heard of any
You get
injuries.
blisters or
like blisters.
scrapes on your hands.
Yeah. One year we had a kid. He actually cracked his fingernail
from doing so much shooting.
Yes, we had to try, get him through. We tried Band-Aids and all sorts of stuff, and he managed to make it through.
Wow.
And then if they have knees, it's tough on the knees.
Do you ever wear those pads that the gardeners wear?
Well, you never really got
I don't wear any pads.
Yeah.
Okay.
She actually, we have to say, Jessica has the most unusual shooting position. It's totally, completely unorthodox for a marbles player.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's allowed.
Oh, yeah.
And years ago, we think she started shooting normal, and then she switched to the style, and it worked. So we never bothered changing it.
What did she do?
Well, normally a marbles player is on their knees, and they're like, this hand's the balance hand, this hand the shooting hand, and they're on their knees. How do you describe how you?
All right. So imagine this.
Okay.
Flip this hand. And when you're on
your left hand, flip it.
Yes.
So that
normally
so that you're shooting like this.
Okay, so your balance hand is on your right. So
Yeah.
that's
For me,
Yeah,
okay.
'cause she's left-handed.
Okay.
So the normal way is to shoot like this,
Okay.
but then I flipped it.
Wow.
So I'm shooting like this.
So your thumb is on the ground
Yeah.
instead of in the
A-
air.
And then she's not on her knees. She's kind of like in a
Yeah.
she's sitting in like
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 side
this
saddle.
right now, like when we're teaching our younger kids.
Don't watch Jessica.
No. We just actually, I was just telling Jerry, I said, you know what? I'm not even correcting some of them because of after what she's done. We'll correct some basic things,
Yeah.
like if we don't see it working or whatever. But
The palm down. Usually the palm is
It's usually-
basically facing up. The palm is, but this is with the palm down and
Yeah.
shooting from the side.
yeah,
Holy mackerel.
yeah. And see,
That is
there's another style that a lot of kids use. They shoot from the side like this. Okay, and we don't teach that style because when we teach this way, we teach them how to line up, eyes
Mhm.
to the marble to your target. But she's combined both ways and shoots like this. So she can still sight her target, but she's not out here like some of the other kids that
Yeah.
we've seen play,
Right.
so it's just a different style.
Can you tell me anything about the Marbles Hall of Fame?
Well, you're going to be inducted into it next year, Jessica.
Great.
Every year on the Thursday evening, after everything's done, all the play is done,
Mhm.
the previous year champions actually are out there working the tournament. They're refereeing the games. They're not allowed to compete in it again,
Mhm.
even if they're a young champion. And so the National Marbles Hall of Fame is located in the Greater Wildwood Chamber of Commerce building. She will be inducted next year on the Thursday night after Father's Day. I don't know dates yet or anything. And she will be presenting her board. They all have like a poster board
Mhm.
that shows how their year went as the National Marbles Tournament champion. And she will get to create her board and present it and explain, why she chose maybe these pictures,
Mhm.
et cetera, and just talk about how her year has gone. And so we're pleased to say you're going to be part of her board.
That'll be fun. How about the marbles themselves? There are different size marbles.
Yes, there's rules for the size of marbles. It can't be smaller than the game marble, the marble they're trying to shoot out of the
Yeah.
ring, and it can't be bigger than 3/4 of an inch. And it has to be glass or stone. It cannot be any other substance
Mhm.
of the marble they're shooting with. And what happens is the kids become attached to a certain marble because they feel that marble is helping them.
It's good luck.
Yes. So, and then there's another technique that we use called scuffing, where the kids will roll their shooters on the concrete and take the polished edge off it, and give it a little grip.
Ah.
So that helps them manipulate the shooter even more to get the
So you can get a
necessary.
grip on it. Then.
Yes, and get the necessary spins and what they want to do with it. It's pretty interesting to see how some of the kids do work that marble because they work the marble just like a pool shark works the cue ball.
Mhm.
They do exactly that. They work it. They can make it spin and go in directions they want it to go, like the snooker shot.
Snooker shot?
Yes. That's where a marble's right on the side, right at the ring. It's not out, but it's right on the very edge. The player will, especially Jessica, will get up right on it and shoot it out of the closest side of the ring and have their shooter spin right to the middle of the ring where all the other marbles are. It's called a snooker shot.
That shooter marble will
spin to the middle of the ring where the other marbles are. And then she starts working the sticks from there.
Okay. Wow. There's all kinds of lingo to learn.
There is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mipsters, snooker, hunching, the whole deal. But I heard the other coaches, when they were talking about Jessica, they would, because I referee a lot of games, the coaches would come over to me and say, she has mastered that skill. She didn't know they were coming to me saying that, but they were walking, your girl has mastered that skill. Getting a stick is like, what it means is you played a perfect game. You ran the ring, just like in pool, you run the table.
Right.
She ran the ring 5 times in the national tournament. That's 5 perfect games. Very impressive.
I want to thank all 3 of you for coming in today. We had a nice talk. So this was Jerry Sieber, PE teacher at the Special Services School and a coach from the 90s. Retired, but also still involved in the tournament.
Oh,
I take it. And we have Betty Harshaw, who is...
Well, I am the teacher of one of the teachers in the Wave 21 Marbles program. And I am the tournament director for the Wildwood and the Cape May County marbles tournaments.
Okay.
Okay. And as well as the coach with Jerry for when it comes time to train the kids to get ready for June.
Okay.
And I'm a retired physical education teacher also.
Great. And finally, thank you for coming, Jessica Johnson. You're in your junior year of high school.
Yeah.
Congratulations on being the first girls champion from New Jersey.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Okay, we're good.
The first national champion ever, not just in the girls division. She's the first from New Jersey. It's never happened before.
Okay. I'm not going to leave that in.
Because I mean, I don't want her to not get full credit.
Yeah.
She's not just the girls champion. She is the champion.
Mr. Jerry, do you remember when I got my first stick my first year in the tournament?
Oh, I do. But I remember something even farther back. You don't remember this, but when we were first starting the program, we have a practice game. She's in this group. We have a practice game, and it's just practice in the classroom. We're not anywhere near ready yet.
Right.
And Jessica played a practice game. She lost, and she cried. And I said, "Oh, geez." I said,
Did you really?
because I know what she has become from the very first time she lost her first practice game. And I was saying, "Oh, see, you know,
She's going to be nothing.
yeah, she probably won't be
She's going
back."
to be nothing.
You know, no, that really turned around. That was quite something. But oh yeah, speaking of that, yeah, I'm refereeing games.
Yeah.
Okay, not only has she won the first person to win the national championship from New Jersey,
Yeah.
that I was refereeing a game and I hear the announcer say, "Jessica Johnson from Cape May County defeats so-and-so with a stick." Well, I'm refereeing a game, but I'm jumping up and screaming because she was the first player to play the first perfect game. She got the first stick ever out of all of our players. She got the first stick, and then after that, we started getting sticks. Other players started getting. Michelle got a stick.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I bribed her with a donut.
Yeah, but that was really exciting when I heard the stick.
Yeah. So I mean, like she's part of the legacy that we have with these kids that have been playing with us for like I said, this is our 11th year. We were probably in our 4th year when we got our first sportsmanship award in Smith Garcia. All of them have passed down something to the next group of kids.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if she has time this year, you know, we'll say, you know, come on in and have class, because after the holidays, we start to get a little more intense with us because our tournament's in April, our local tournament, first one. She'll probably come back and help us referee because we also pull them out of school a little bit. So she doesn't mind missing classes.
Okay.
But she'll come in and help referee. And, you know, we find that, you know, our kids that have come back and done that, they'll give tips to the younger kids. And sometimes the younger kids just look at them like, okay, like, you know, they don't believe them. You know, but then you'll see that later on because we try to encourage them to become a team. So this year we had 4 younger kids, 5th and 6th graders, and then we had the 4 older kids that were 9th and 10th graders. And in the beginning, they were kind of like a little bit separated, but towards the end, they were just like this, supporting each other and giving each other advice. They didn't need me and Jerry by that point in time.
What? They didn't need us?
Well, you know, you know what I mean. It's not,
Oh man.
because like I said, they have to know what they have to do. And mentally this group was mentally very strong and very determined.
Well, 2 years of pandemic, they were.
Yeah. But I mean, because they're also older, I don't know if you think you might have been different last year or the year before. I don't know. Because see, Jessica's always been very steadfast. Like, you know, she's always worked hard and always doesn't miss a practice, and, you know, and comes in and just goes in there and then pretty serious about practicing. And then you have the other ones who are clowning around, and she's beating them all.
Right.
The boys too. I mean, this is you know, she's beating everybody. So she set a good example.
But that's true what you're saying, that Betty and I facilitate the kids, give them the basics, get them started. But they really learn from one another. That's the deal. And Yeah, they don't need us
And
if
like
they're
this-
served late.
Like this year, one added thing that they did, which I didn't get involved with it because I'm not an early bird person. Don't get up early. They were so nervous. Jessica and Evelyn, they asked to have some meditation. So
Yeah.
on the morning of the event, what time did you guys get there? 7 o'clock?
No, I was not there that early. No.
Oh, they
No.
sat on one of the rings and he led them in meditation. They were, they were just very nervous about the whole day going into semifinals. And I don't know, was it just
Well, that's kind of mature of
you
them.
and
It
Evelyn?
was me, Evelyn, and
Oh, okay. The three that ended up in the finals. And so he,
Well, it worked.
calmed them down, I guess.
Well, I have a confession to make.
Oh,
No, I do. Because before the pandemic hit, Jessica and Marco, I was always tell my wife, I'd say, they are so ready. They are so ready to do this, which I don't know which one or maybe both of them, but they're ready. And then they
and he
canceled it.
did
I cried. I'm
it.
not
You
kidding.
cried this
I
time.
cried. Confession.